So I recently did a session where I asked my client if I could make a video about it, and she said yes. So here we are. She recently signed up for a shamanic apprenticeship where when I tuned in to what the shaman was doing, I felt the angels start crying because they were so sad with what the shaman was doing, because she was coming from a place of ego, pride, and the dark. And when I focused my mind on it, I got really nauseous. So I thought it was really important to make this video warning people about what spiritual healers, leaders, advisors, counselors, shamans could be doing out there, and what you guys need to look for and be aware of, so that you can avoid these types of situations, because they're coming from the dark and you really want to steer clear of them. Number one, anyone that has a huge ego and they have a superiority complex where they're just like, I'm up here and you're down there, and I'm special and you're not. I can do stuff you can't. And just be aware of the inflated sense of self-importance, because that is a huge warning sign. When we connect with the other side, we are encouraged to set our egos aside in order to be pure channels of love and light, because ego doesn't exist in the light. So be very, very aware if somebody out of the starting gate shows you they have a huge ego, because they're not aligned with the truth and the light. So be aware of that. Another thing that you need to be aware of when it comes to ego, kind of like along those same lines, is the talk to the hand mentality, where what they say goes to the point where they're just completely closed off and not open to anything you have to say. Where again, they're up here, you're down here, they're the shaman and you are shamanic peasants, right? So there's like this ranking, and the other side is just like, no, like don't treat people like shamanic peasants, like be open to what they have to say, and don't just be closed off and talk to the hand or whatever, what I say goes. And it's like, don't be like that. Okay. It's just a really closed off energy. So yeah, they want you to find teachers that are a little more, I don't know, down to earth, open, that open, free-flowing kind of energy. Another thing the other side wants you to be aware of is when they're really just trying to have control over you. This is really just meant to keep you in line and diminish your personal power. So beware of teachers who purposely try to tear you down, because they're just that. They're teachers. And they have knowledge and experience to share, and it's fantastic that they're sharing it with you, but you don't have to view them as a deity in the process, okay? It just feels like another reason that they want to hold you down and squelch your personal power, is to try to maintain control over you. And if they can maintain control over you, what can they get? They can get more money. So if their goal is to get more money out of you, again, they're going to sell you, I'm special and magical, you're not. So to even be near my wonderfulness and magical powers, I'm going to charge you an arm and a leg. And, it's a justification for money, and it's a sales tactic. So it's like the higher opinion I have of myself, the higher opinion you're going to adopt of me. And it's just a sales tactic. And they're going to sell you on the idea of giving them a bunch of money because they're special and you're not. So you're going to be like, wow, if you're that great, wow, here's some more money. I'm just so lucky to be in your presence. And that's not true. That's just their ego. And again, they're not aligned with truth. Another thing they're going to try to do to control you is they're going to stress dependence. They're going to try to make you dependent on them so that you need them to connect with the other side. And this was the thing that when I tuned into the situation was the most maddening. In order to keep the money flowing, they need to make you dependent on them. And so they're going to convince you that connecting with the other side is such a huge deal that you can only do it through them. And you can only do it through their spirit. So when you meditate, what they're going to ask you to do is, this is the other side, they're going to ask you to meditate and focus your mind on them instead of focusing your mind on the divine, spirit guides, etc. directly. Okay? They're going to ask you to focus your mind on them and send them like the love and light energy, right? And this is you down here. And you're such a peasant that you're all the way down here meditating, and you've got to go through this shaman, right? What is this shaman doing? This shaman is making you dependent on them to connect to the other side, because you're a shamanic peasant, and they're not. They're so high up above you, and their soul is so magical and amazing that you have to go through them to connect to the other side. This could not be further from the truth. So what is the shaman doing? The shaman is essentially smoking dope. They're smoking dope. They're coming from a place of pride, ego, self-importance, and speaking for the dark and just impure intentions, right? So this is not true. You don't need the shaman to connect to the other side, okay? Here's what to do instead. Connect to the other side directly. And here's you, right? And you just focus your mind on the other side directly. Go direct. You do not need the shaman. Go direct. You'll be fine. Okay? So that's what they want. You've got a higher self in here, right? You've got your higher self in here that's directly connected to the divine. Tune into the divine himself. Tune into your higher self. Go direct. You don't need somebody else to get in the way. Your soul is good enough. Okay? I'm telling you, your soul is good enough. And don't buy that BS. Okay? Now, if you are meditating and focusing on the shaman and sending that love, light, and attention energy towards them, they're taking it all in and they're receiving all of that energy. So they become an energetic vampire just sucking off of you. So there's also an energetic, motive behind all of this where it's like, ooh, I get all this love and light cast in me. It's like, ooh, all this energy. It's like, yeah, no, you're just a succubus. Leave your students alone. Let them do their thing. Cast that love and light and attention energy at the other side directly. So, yeah, don't do it. They're just energetic vampires, and don't go to those people for learning because they're totally wrong and they're not aligned with truth, and what they're doing is from the dark. So I wanted to make this video to just kind of warn you guys so that you could beware when you come across this. And, meditate, quiet your mind, allow the other side to give you those intuitive downloads by quieting your mind, and focus on having that personal power, and don't allow anyone to diminish it, because your divine connection is strong and reliable all on its own. And in the meantime, take care and be well. Thank you.